to get the better of Ssumday in their previous series. And Ssumday yesterday bringing out things like the Gwen, like the Fiora, and taking advantage of that in their series.
And one of the biggest ones that he was able to use for Fudge was the Kennen. Kennen buffed on this patch, and not that many top laners have actually really indexed heavily into that champion. And 100 Thieves in their previous matchup had to end up banning it every single game after they lost to it.
Well, Cloud9, I love this. Fudge hovering what he started the season on Soraka and Ivern as a mid laner. A bit of a floundering split, but they switched it up. He is back on top. A top dog for sure. Berserker still in. Zven on to support, and it's like, hey, it's about the bot lane. It's a bot lane meta. It's Zeri.
Zeri picked up for Berserker, so much on his shoulders for Cloud9. But if this hover goes through for Abbeddage with the Azir lock-in, then you already start to think about the counters from Jensen, the Silas, the Akali as well, following that up before you go to the next round of bans.
I wonder if 100 Thieves will actually go towards Lulu, or if they're even having that high prio on it, because 100 Thieves yesterday were okay to actually forgo some of the enchanters and play engage from bot lane. But, I mean, you could take Sivir on 3 and grab Lulu here to deny an enchanter from Zeri.
Plus, with the changes in the meta, we've seen Soraka start to emerge and them reach to other enchanters and healing supports in the bottom lane as well.
That's what champion pools are for. There's more than just the Zeri versus, with the Lulu or just with the Yuumi. You got a lot of options out there, and I love that Huhi's had a gigantic pool so far this split. Sven's played all manner of encounters all the time long. And Jensen back in the finals grabs LeBlanc versus Azir.
And this LeBlanc was banned a lot of the games in the previous matchup as well. They pair it with that Lulu, the tried and true for the Zeri. So Cloud9, they lock in a volatile kill-based mid lane matchup here with the LeBlanc, looking for kill setup with Blaber. That makes you think Cloud9 will want to get an aggressive jungle as well to pair with that LeBlanc, and then have that scaling bottom lane for later.
Absolutely, it's one of Jensen's best champions, not only just this year, he's 7 games on it, 71% win rate, but all time, about a 75% win rate on this champion, has been so dominant on it over so many years. And Jensen going to be looking to assert that dominance here in mid lane against Abbeddage in game 1.
All right, looking at the jungle pool for Blaber for possible pairings there with that LeBlanc. They have banned out the Trundle as well. 100 Thieves trying to whittle down on that champion pool. Meanwhile, Cloud9 trying to take out some of these supports, these engages with Sivir. Will they also ban out something like the Soraka, though? We have seen a lot of these other, enchanter supports for the bottom lane here. Sivir definitely does well, with Leona as well. Nautilus already banned out here. Amumu banned out. They're trying to take away these frontline engages from 100 Thieves.
Well, one more man to go. Sivir's out there. You're matching some of the roles, but not others. Double indeed jungle ban as Trundle, Wukong are gone. And unanswered support right now is saying, yeah, we think you'd rather engage on us. Poppy, Sivir, Azir kind of get you in anyway. Find a tank to start it out. What's the final ban here for Cloud9?
I feel like they might just continue banning engage picks, right? Huhi has been kind of showing that he wants to go towards it, but as you say, Soraka was big yesterday. I do think banning away the Ornn here makes sense. But it is interesting because 100 Thieves are on red side, so it's not like they have to fourth pick their top laner. But I guess the assumption is, because they're already going heavily towards scaling, that they would be able to grab it on 4 here, take it away from Fudge, and thinking that that would perhaps make too strong of a team fighting composition for 100 Thieves.
With these hovers already, I'm thinking it's going to be some sort of tank engage for Ssumday in the top lane. Whether you lock in the Soraka or the Sona, it is going to need a little bit more frontline. 100 Thieves, this is what we know from the team. They always want this structured 5-on-5. And so now it's on Cloud9. What's going to be the jungle pairing with this LeBlanc? You still have Lee Sin, Nocturne locked in here.
They're getting aggressive here in game 1.
Yes!
This is the combo right here, Kennen and Nocturne. You turn off the lights with the Nocturne ultimate so you cannot spot the Kennen flank. It makes it incredibly difficult to mark, but it's Malphite coming out here from Ssumday. He's going to go comment Malphite pretty much for sure, I would think.
Yeah, and Malphite recently buffed as well here. Let's put it to the test immediately. This Kennen, this is the pick that we were wondering, what is going to be the change this time around? Because the last 3 games of the previous series, 100 Thieves, they were not ready for it. They perma-banned the Kennen in the second phase. This time around, though, they've had time to prepare what their counter will be.
And this is so interesting because now it's all that pressure on Ssumday to actually be the one to lock down Berserker, because he is the only primary engage. But if Berserker has flashed, you expect him to be able to flash the Malphite ultimate every single time. So I do think 100 Thieves is going to have some pressure on them to be constantly trying to tax those.
One more time, I want to hear it. Who's here for Cloud9? 100 Thieves fans, you're not getting outdone, are you? Louder this time, who's here for 100 Thieves?
Seemed pretty close there, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
All right, we do have Comment Malphite. So as expected, we are having that, but it is actually gonna be Electrocute here for Fudge. So more bursty rune setup here. Going to be interested to see, if he can actually get on that back line. It does make him more dangerous on these flanking plays. We see a lot more spellbook Kennen and things like that these days, though, so it is interesting to see the adaptation.
Yeah, I think he's just looking for that burst damage. As we said, the back line here, it's all about these flanks. The combination of Nocturne and Kennen, one of the old tried and true, turning off the vision, finding the flank for the Kennen into the back line. The Electrocute gives you that burst damage to get through the Soraka before the healing starts to take over. They want to make those team fights as short as they can.
Some really interesting rune setups here as well for Huhi. So Resolve Primary is pretty standard if you think you're going to be getting dove upon, which Nocturne and Kennen is going to do. But he's actually Scorched Nimbus Cloak as his secondary here on the Soraka. So the Nimbus Cloak to me seems like he's trying to actually kite out after the initial engage when he's spending the Gauss, spending the flash. The Scorch is just really heavily towards the laning here. Soraka, again, can be a very powerful laner. People don't always traditionally think of it in that way, but if you're actually foregoing points in the W early on, multiple points in Q and E, you really can crush in lane.
And as far as the jungler, should be Nocturne power clearing. Always looking for that level 6, of course, with this champion. So Blaber doing the red side start, red down to Krugs, full clear up towards that top side, towards that Malphite Kennen matchup.
You can see Fudge trying to fight back with him. Ssumday, of course, going to go for the Q spam. Mana always going to be the issue. Fudge's health bar versus Ssumday's mana bar. I'm expecting, as the levels come in, for Huhi to feel pretty good in his lane matchup, undodgeable poke. Honestly, going for the aggressive option, I think Soraka should beat most enchanters in lane. The Q self-sufficient, 120 health bar difference.
Yeah. When
it lands, no level 1 skill does as much as that one. So I think, saying I'm going to poke you down. We're going to have the defensive runes in primary, but I want to win this lane.
And that's why it's so much on your opponent to be able to actually dodge out on those Qs. If you're dodging out on those Qs, look how heavily Zven just won that trade there. Steps forward past the Q and is able to land that Glitter Lance and continually get those autos in on Huhi to chunk him down. So you've got to keep dodging those out. Keep the Soraka low, and this is where you can really punish this 100 Thieves bot lane.
Looks like we do have Nocturne spotted on the ward here. Blaber comes around for an early gank towards mid, but Abeddage knows he's there. Good defensive warding around the mid lane. It's something we saw a lot of yesterday too for the early stages of the matchup. When you pick LeBlanc into Azir, a lot of the matchup is on getting kills and kill threat with your jungler. If you're left alone just to have the Azir free farming, pushing you in under tower, you're slowly going to lose out more of your presence.
Ssumday chunked down to 200 HP, chugs a biscuit. It looks like the end right there to get himself healthy. Closer, splits crabs 1-1 with the Cloud9 jungler. So far, 20% of the way towards the win here on Blaber's side. See how many more he gets for now.
Gonna be really interesting to see where Ssumday goes with the build. Did get pushed back pretty early, picks up a Doran's Ring for some mana regen as well as the refillable. I'm expecting him to just go towards tank, but some players in these matchups, if you're gonna play more heavily for that 1v1, will go towards something like an Everfrost even at times, or some of those AP mythics.
Yeah, definitely do expect pretty heavy tank front line as far as 100 Thieves and how they build their teams around that late game team fighting, around FBI and Abbeddage. Speaking of which, Jensen with a really good shove here on the LeBlanc. The early stages of this LeBlanc-Azir matchup going so well for him. Nice CS lead he's been able to accrue. Gets off an easy back for the early recall here as well. Double amp Tums, teleports right back out. And Blaber is on his second clear for the Nocturne.
And now with Abbeddage on no mana, he can try to push him back on an awkward timing, right? You can try to shove this in, force Abbeddage to base when it's not potentially a cannon wave there, but Abbeddage looking like he'll just try to clear this out and likely base on this wave to come back.
Exactly. Try and pressure him, lose out on every few CS does really matter. Another electrocute pock from Fudge as he tries to whittle down on Ssumday.
And Fudge is actually doing a really good job because he hasn't actually based yet. Abbeddage could be in some trouble here, but no Ignite means he's going to be okay to back it up. Because Fudge is still taxing the resources of Ssumday post-teleport. So if he can keep him locked in this lane, utilize the energy bar, just continue poking away, you are resourceless there on the Kennen, then you TP back, and you can really try to punish Ssumday when you have that full health plus a really good buy. Try to push Ssumday back on a bad time.
And TP comes in now for the mid lane. Abeddage finally pushed back in. He's got not quite what he wants. He would love Lost Champion. Can't make it happen. The bot side, Zven's going to be slowed. Tag up for a bit, but will they kill him? Face rushes, moves speed. They won't root him in place. Zven burns a summoner heal to stay alive.
He's staying cool. He's got the Teemo thumbs up. He knows he's going to take damage mid lane. Blaber returns.
But how does Abbeddage get through this one? He's not level 6 just yet. The fear is going to land. He flashes. He still gets feared. Nocturne's on the way, and knock. Death's door has arrived.
Abbeddage trying to wait so long to dodge out on the chain, but he gets caught by the fear by Blaber. Instead, waited too long on it. Cloud9 strike first.
Exactly. The tether there just barely not broken with the flash into shifting sands, and it is going to be mid-jungle duo with the first kill. It goes on to the Nocturne, and Blaber's not done. He's looking topside. Look at this roam from LeBlanc and Nocturne.
Fudge already ulted. Ssumday has haze, so if someone pulls aggro, there's a chance he can lock him in turret.
There's no teleport from Azir. There's no help coming for Ssumday.
Got the passive shield, means bonus armor. Flashed away from the tether. Here comes the 3v1. LeBlanc is on. He ults in for the Kennen, who had aggro. But Fudge lives with 5 health left.
Cloud9 get it all. They get it in top lane. They get it in mid lane. Fudge barely surviving there, and Ssumday loses all of that wave. No TP, no flash, nothing he can do about it.
This is so big for slingshotting this Nocturne ahead. Blaber is now level 6 with the Nocturne 2, can repeat gank. There are, guess what, no flashes on either solo lane now. So Blaber is in the dream world for Nocturne right now. 100 Thieves, they do on the other side of it. Since you see the roam topside from mid and jungle, they will get the dragon in payment for the life of Ssumday.
And look at Blaber, he's moving towards mid lane right now. Has the ulti.
Ulti's on, but can they lock him down though underneath the turret? Ulti is available, but knows he gets spell shield if he needed to. Blaber is fine. Abbeddage burns nothing to get away. Jensen flash to follow.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistiming there from Cloud9. Need to let that chain be setting it up first. Jensen tries to flash in to make something happen with that play, but Abbeddage quick on the slide out.
Yeah, that was actually amazing for 100 Thieves to get the first Nocturne ultimate down. Big timing window now. And the flash from Jensen used. They can really feel the extra tension here. Game 1 of finals, really wanted to jump on that momentum that they built on both those solo lane kills.
And we haven't even really checked in on bot lane, but Berserker's opened up a 9 CS lead down in bot lane, so it's 3 winning lanes right now for Cloud9. This does mean that Blaber is going to kind of have the run of things in the jungle right now, but it's actually Ssumday starting up Herald as Closer is here around mid, and Blaber's back in base.
Ghost is on, ulti's on, chasing an FBI, can't jump any walls himself. Decent damage, they done a couple of the shots. Ultimately, FBI is able to just walk this one away. Huhi with the heal. Berserker down an ulti and a summoner for nothing.
Yeah, I love it. They're giving them a taste of their own medicine with these emotes as soon as they know they're not in danger. It will be, on the other side of the map, another neutral objective for 100 Thieves pick up. So Cloud9 getting these early kills, but 100 Thieves, they stay focused on the objectives here on the map. Picking up Rift Road on the top side is actually going to go a long way.
Yeah, I mean, getting both Dragon and Herald, I think you're completely fine with being down 1K for that. Especially when they do have, really, really good scaling here, obviously with the Azir, with the Sivir. 100 Thieves, I think, pretty happy with these first few minutes.
And a quick shield from Zven blocks the back half of the Boomerang Blade, but FBI is going to be down about 7 CS as the wave gets manicured out. Not a huge deal. And yeah, you mentioned the scoreboard at the very top, 1,000 gold versus the objectives, and with 100 Thieves, getting 300 gold once the Herald is summoned at the very least. It's looking pretty solid here. So a pretty close early game so far.
Yeah, I think the next steps for Cloud9 is try and leverage the advantage that they already got on the successful gank. The Nocturne and LeBlanc. Get Jensen roaming around with the timing for next Nocturne ultimate coming up. Paranoia, the cooldown is almost available here. Really good ward from 100 Thieves, has been able to scout out Blaber. But those two have so much power right now.
And finding a kill on that second ultimate is going to feel so important, especially after the first one really did not get you any rewards. When you're playing Nocturne, almost always it's rinse and repeat, ulti on cooldown, try to get a kill, and then just get back to power farming as fast as you can.
Plus, you're always thinking, I want to use it before Soraka gets level 6, but now Huhi just dings level 6. So they have the extra Soraka ultimate for safety, for protection on the 100 Thieves side.
Closer sneaks in from the brush. Smite fight could be available. Only Cloud9 has it. He goes early. Claims it anyway, but a miss smite all the same. Still 2 minutes on the Drake to come up. A blue buff is stolen by the Cloud9 side.
And Cloud9 trying to use the prio that they have now to extend their advantage here. Jensen had Abbeddage zoned away on mid lane, was on the left side of your screen, and pushing him away from that blue buff. If a fight broke out, Jensen would always get there before Abbeddage, and that would likely mean it goes Cloud9's way.
Yeah, and refocusing on the 100 Thieves goals here, they're just trying to farm as much as they can on their Shurima carries. Azir and Sivir both funnel as much CS as you can into them. Malphite, yeah, you're going to to be on tank duty up on top side. Soak up as much as you can without opening up too much of an opportunity for Cloud9.
Decent chain, decent damage, but Huhi's like, yeah, we're gonna erase that one. Nice try, Jensen. I pressed W too, buddy.
The Soraka roam is the deadliest. Walks through mid lane, heals him up, walks away.
My job here is done. Ambulance has arrived. Turret plate almost about to fall off too. Jensen with the constant pushing here on LeBlanc, really pressuring the matchup from the word go.
And you can see that FBI is actually heading out towards top lane. The Herald's already down, but it looks like they're moving towards top lane to try to get Malphite out of this matchup where he's been struggling. Maybe set up a Herald play. Poppy's up in that top side jungle with Huhi. Send up FBI, push this in on Fudge, drop the Herald, and make sure that you can cash in before 14 minutes.
And I want to see how many turret plates Zeri actually gets for this, because that leaves Berserker bottom lane just chucking away at these turret plates. There's one knocked off already. Zven is even staying around to help him with it, buff him up, take it down even quicker.
Malphite could always be a threat, of course. Level 9 has a Bomby Cinder and enough AP to at least be a threat here as Blaber sees the top lane indeed under fire. 1v3, Fudge is coming back in. I don't think either side can win a fight around here. The turret would be too much, and you don't win a 2v3 against a healer. So it's going to be the wave going down. It's going to be a second turret plate, likely shared 3 ways. So 53 and a third gold each. Not a huge deal, but as you're mentioning, bot lane's still under pressure as well. The 2v1 down there, the extra numbers creating extra pressure.
And committing that TP is really just trying to make sure that they can actually crack the full tower. They're hoping that they can maybe win that race on the bottom side or at the very least delay it. But again, Blaber getting pulled back up towards that top side to try to defend. They're going to look for the play.
Is going for top side, Kennen over the top, but it's not enough damage. Wish comes through, and Cloud9 wish they hadn't gone for this one. Helper's getting low, so I don't know who they don't get him just yet. Nocturne the flash through. The heal means one. The fear means a flash for the other. And Blaber has knocked him out. 2 versus 3.
Oh, Blaber's trying to chase them all down. He gets one of them in the 2v3 for Fudge and Blaber. The Nocturne Kennen combination, and they try and shove it right down 100 Thieves' throat, but a little bit of a wraparound. They're trying to catch the desynced recall. Let one go and catch the other one.
Fudge doesn't have an easy way. Blue smite nearly finds the kill, but not there.
So smart from 100 Thieves there. They've got the vision of the wards. They wait for the desync on those recalls and strike at the precise moment.
Yeah, really, really intelligent stuff there. But still, Blaber and Fudge, they defend the tower, and they force 5 summoners with that fight. All 4 from the bot lane, plus the flash off of Closer there. That is a really big deal. Blaber, one of those players who is just historically always known his limits better than anyone else. You know, always playing to the edge, had the stride breaker and felt he could make the play.
Also, Nocturne is very snowbally early on in the game, and Blaber getting a lot of this early money. So let's take another look at it. They did have vision when he started. They sync the 2 cooldowns there. Exhaust was used to mitigate some of the damage.
Ooh, and Blaber got pushed off of Cloud Drake. He was soloing it, has tons of damage early on with the spell steal, the autos, but as 100 Thieves come down in time, it's 2 Drakes now to 100 Thieves. Sure, the Herald charge ended up only being 3 turret plates taken top. That's been about a wash with the C9 bottom pressure. But 1,000 gold difference is now a 2 Drake difference as well on the other side.
Exactly, pretty big here, 400 Thieves to be able to stack these dragons. Again, they're the team comp that wants to group up as 5, and then the #1 priority as they go later into the game, keeping track of Fudge. Somebody mark that Kennen, because when the lights go out with the paranoia, it's going to be very hard to stop that flank.
And you can see in the FTX total goal, Berserker and Blaber topping the charts just barely ahead there of FBI. Now, Ssumday is way down, but it's more okay on the Malphite. He doesn't need to be the focus here. You know, just working towards the tank mythic, needs to be that engaged, and honestly, your ult basically does the same whether they have 1 items or 5.
I like this build though, Stride Breaker on Nocturne. And we saw in the gold graph, right? Like he was, you know, top 2 gold of the game, higher than anyone else on 100 Thieves. Nocturne can solo people at equal level up in gold. If someone is alone, they are dying to paranoia.
Yeah, I think the next big goal for Cloud9 is try and get these side turrets down. And to do that, you need Herald. Get that charge so you can immediately get more territory to pick people off. LeBlanc, Nocturne, Kennen, all looking, you know, to play with more Fog of War.
And I completely, you know, agree with you, Phreak, when you're talking about that, and that's why there's been such a focus on vision, right? They have this big line of wards, these wards over the wall, all trying to cover potential areas, you know, that they would have to actually watch out for Nocturne from. And it's going to be this vision battle where Cloud9 are trying to constantly sweep out any forward wards, so Blaber can have good angles to actually ult from.
Sure, it's going to be going down there. It is Cloud9 who got second Herald themselves. So first turret in the game. That should be a race easily won by Cloud9. As long as you stay away, you're giving all this gold to Berserker, 450 onto him. Herald will not steal turret gold, only plate money, so Berserker off to the races, 6,500.
The problem with trying to match on bottom side 2 for 100 Thieves, the Herald is going to get 2 towers in the time you get 1 tower. So Cloud9, really hyper-focus on that priority. Take down these outer towers for 100 Thieves, shove as deep as you can into their territory, to then move to stage 2 of the plan. Get those picks.
Absolutely, and I do wonder, you know, if they're going to be able to really find that team fight on the 100 Thieves side at this 3rd dragon, because I think that's where we're going to see Cloud9 say, all right, enough is enough. You've got the first 2 dragons. We've established our gold lead. Now we're going to fight you at that 3rd dragon. And as long as Berserker has summoners and they can track Ssumday, he should be able to respond to that Malphite. And Malphite really is just going to be basically an ult, and that's it. And if you can't lock down the Zeri with the Malphite ult, I feel like it's going to be so hard for 100 Thieves to ever actually take him out.
Yeah, agreed. Just depends what the dive ends up looking like. If it does land or not, Berserker, it's going to be up to his toes. And Zven has the shields and the ulti to keep him alive even if it does land. Might be enough just space built with Fudge and Blaber diving in as well. It's going to be very fun to watch these team fights play out. 2,300 gold lead right now for Cloud9, moving up towards a very slow to kill 3rd dragon and mountain in 2 minutes.
Yeah, and I like their priority. They switch everybody away from the top side, try and push it in as quickly as they possibly can. 100 Thieves doing a good job, though, tracking Cloud9, not giving them an opening to get one of those picks. Burn those summoner spells, those flashes, before that dragon arrives.
Ward's killed, mid lane once again taken by the AD carries. LeBlanc happier to side lane. Pretty good escape tools overall and probably not going to get caught up on anything. As Fudge stays to the far side, teleports will be up for every solo laner in time for this Mountain Drake fight in 75 seconds.
All right, keep your eyes peeled for any teleport flank wards. A ward for Fudge to teleport in on, as the cooldown on his Unleashed teleport is coming up pretty shortly here, could be devastating. And you see that little control ward there, that sneaker in the blue jungle area here of 100 Thieves. That could be the ward.
Okay. He saw it. Yeah. He goes back, because that would actually have been game-changing if he gets a flanking TP and they lose that fight off that. Berserker should have Hurricane now. He was actually sticking around, you know, a little bit of a later back, but still 45 seconds before the dragon. Should be on his 2nd item here. He has really been accelerated out into this game. Sells the call, and that should give him combination gold here. There it is. He's going to be on 2 items. FBI will not be able to actually get to that mark, I don't think, unless he can pick up some jungle camps or something prior to that fight.
Seems unlikely. Cole's 180 free gold, and he got donated a lot of money. Yeah, we're actually about there. 650 for a Phantom Dancer combined, I think. So should be pretty close in the ability to do so if he's willing to get the recall off. But we're going to see our fight going on pretty soon as we are into the bottom river. 15 seconds of Mountain Drake. 100 Thieves would be on soul point, and it would stymie so much of what Kennen and Nocturne want to do with those tank stats.
And look at this LeBlanc setting up on the bottom side, trying to find a flanking angle in from the side. They're going to look for the pincer play here. Jensen has not been spotted.
Timing on the exhaust from Huhi on this Kennen too. Mark the Kennen. Big AoE damage possible.
Cloud9 getting the river first. Ssumday on a ward, but he's going to kill it and get rid of the fog. Can he find the right dive? Jensen seen with the ward over the wall. No sweeper available to get rid of that one, but Drake is being started. Ssumday hits the front line. No one's on a flank angle. Cloud9 are spotted. Poke for Abbeddage means very little. Huhi safe enough for now. Fudge feints it, doesn't go in. His flash, the only tool available. Close actually burns the ulti. Long cooldown, hits no one. Shock hits FBI, he spell shields it. Jensen still waiting in the wings. Again, this time kills the ward. Will Kennen go for a flash ulti over the wall? Is he walking for the flank? He is. 100 Thieves have low time. Huhi's at half health. Nocturne turns off the lights. The move speed comes in. Here's the dive. Shuffled out, still hits 3. And Jensen kills Abbeddage. Cloud9 in for more. Jensen will not die. Blaber will stopwatch. A trade 2 for 1. Huhi flashing out. Jensen gets to 3rd. A 4th chase down by Berserker. And Closer is the last man standing. Runs for the hills, and Cloud9 get what they want.
The patience on Fudge there. Under the cover of darkness, he gets the flank on Kennen. Even with Abbeddage seeing him with the Azir ult, trying to push him out, he still flash forward, gets the AoE down, and Cloud9 get their fight.
And I would love to see this replay from the 100 Thieves POV, because that is where it really shows you the terror of this combination. You know, being able to see Jensen on the side, they sweep out the ward. They have an idea that Fudge is going to be coming around from this angle, but they don't know the exact timing. They're not sure when it's going to happen. When the lights turn off, it's all chaos, because you lose total sight of this upper ward area. Fudge is coming down. You see him now. You see that in goes Nocturne from the side. He flashes in. They try to disengage it with the Azir ult, ultimate, but Fudge is still in the middle of everyone, and the Lulu ult knocks up 3.
Huge, huge stuff there. And then with all the focus on that Kennen and Nocturne on the front lines, Berserker is just free firing on the Zeri, running them down.
Really beautiful. I can't do anything but hand it to Abbeddage, who did play that fight perfectly. You can only rely on your own vision. Your wards turn off, your teammate's vision turns off. He's the one who's like, he's coming from top side, saw it, scooped in time, and there was still, yeah, he's down to only 2,000 damage, but it's still 2,000 damage, setting up for Berserker, and now we get a fight in the top river, and Zven is able to flash, barely staying alive.
Critical, he's able to stay alive there. 100 Thieves, though, trying to establish vision control here around the Baron. They are very far down. They know they cannot afford to give over free Baron to Cloud9. That would likely spell the end of game 1.
And they have to be very worried about the next 3.5 minutes, because that's where Cloud9's comp actually has an even bigger advantage in picking off people without summoner spells. The team fights are huge and meaningful, but yet the time in between where Nocturne gets to threaten and pick you off while you spent all your summoner spells during the team fight is actually terrifying.
And it's so tough because they didn't even get the flash off Berserker in that team fight. Yes, he used the ghost, but they were never even able to force that. So it's not like you can say, oh, well, it's a free Malphite ult. They're going to look on the side.
Scoop. There's no way you're going to survive this one. It's 3v1. Nocturne flies in, but he's against the crown, so he gets nothing done. I think you hold this one. Try to find your way back in afterwards. Closer. Dodge the chain. The entire team is here, and no FBI ults. They cannot keep up with the rest of Cloud9. Just the 1-for-0.
That's huge props to 200 Thieves taking control of the map, because they know if we split up, the Nocturne's going to pick us off while we're weak. So they make the pick first. They take it to Cloud9 and get at least something.
And it's really smart because they know Fudge for sure had no flash. He has no way to actually respond to that Malphite ultimate, so good targeting there. But it's pretty terrifying. IE Gold is almost in for Berserker. He already has the BF and the pickaxe. He's got another 1,500 on top, so basically is going to have that when he goes back to base. And FBI is falling very far behind that curve. This Berserker on Zeri is going to be such a monster. It's been one of, if not his best champion all year long. Has been so impressive every single time he breaks it out. He has Zven in the back pocket for the Enchanter. IE complete now at a really fast clip. It's his game to win.
And everyone's running at Mach 3 at this one. Berserker's got Ghost in his ulti, but both supports have Shrelius here to speed them up. And it's like, hey, if Malphite's diving in, we got to be there in time while they're stunned. If Kennen's diving in, I want to hit him while they're locked up. So this is going to be just everyone slamming together. Or sometimes one team running away really fast.
Yeah, Berserker gets the benefit from having such a fearsome front line where all 100 Thieves are thinking about the flanks and the Kennen and trying to disengage this Nocturne and, you know, attack on all sides. And so he gets the freedom to have double mobility summoner spells chasing them all down.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great point. It's very difficult because if all of 100 Thieves try to pile in and kill off Berserker, which you kind of have to do when he's this strong, and you ignore the Kennen flank, like that is going to roast you. So it's a very difficult situation now for 100 Thieves. They need to control vision. They need to make sure that they're marking the flankers and really creating space for FBI and Abbeddage, because the Sivir and the Azir need time to win them the team fights.
Second through on the mage here. Jensen has himself a Void Staff. We are halfway between Banshees and a Death Cap, or something similar on Abbeddage, as he's got just some MR via the Verdant Barrier, but Banshees does not build from NLR, so we'll see what the build turns into. Two components on the Azir, 2 out and Spike in for LeBlanc.
And I love this Nocturne build that's been really popular is the Anathema's Chain second coming in. At this point in the game, you need to get tankier as well as just focusing on those two main carries. Azir and Sivir scale so well. If you strap that thing on one of them, then you're going to get a much longer CC chain on them with the tenacity reduction and reduce the damage to be able to stick on them longer as well and further help those Kennen stuns.
Absolutely, and they're looking for closer now.
Yeah, but he's going to be running away with the W on Sivir, saves the ulti, able to sidestep Kennen Q, meaning he's not able to be stunned.
And the Anathemas is actually strapped onto FBI right now, so he's going to be looking for him, looking for that extended fear duration. The spell shield timing is so critical when you're playing against that Nocturne, you know, being able to choose the right spell to block, but there's also a LeBlanc, there's a Kennen on top of you. It feels almost impossible to really hit the key spell.
You can see, though, look at the timer tick down. Last Mountain Drake was a standoff. It was a white knuckle, like who's going to get it fight, and it was barely Cloud9. We fast forward 5 minutes, and 100 Thieves are like, Nah, dog, that is yours. See ya. We'll play for the top river, but we know we're not winning these ones. They're playing for wards.
Exactly. Cloud9 are so much richer now. 100 Thieves. This is the correct choice for 100 Thieves, though. They can't walk out into the river, into that danger zone again, and afford to be flanked like that. So they try and get at least something. And if wards is all you can get on the other side of the map, then that's all you can get.
And time is what their early dragons has afforded them, right? Because there's no pressure of a soul this early on. They grabbed the first 2 dragons, pushing Blaber off that second actually becomes very critical now. Otherwise, it would have been Cloud9 on soul points. So 100 Thieves do have time to be able to buy that Sivir space, to get an IE, to be able to buy the Azir time to potentially get a death cap.
Yeah, 100 Thieves are saying, all right, we farm for late, we are scaling, try and group S5. Everybody take a buddy so that you'll have sight, be able to cuddle together there during the Nocturne ultimates, and keep an eye on that Kennen. And this is the time to revisit what you guys were talking about earlier, these ward lines from 100 Thieves, trying to keep track of Cloud9 constantly so that they don't get that big engage.
Seeing it right now. Cloud9 saying, you know what, we got the power spike still. I see Sivir doesn't have an Infinity Edge, so cool. What's it looking like? We're up a full item on our AD carry, thank you very much. What are we looking at with the Baron still getting burned down? 8,000 health. Look for the Malphite. Look for the jungler. Ssumday coming around. Does he get a good target? Jensen, you can see Fudge waiting in the wings as well. Has his own flash, but you can see he goes safely away. Nocturne turns off the lights. They're going to try to burn down the Baron. Over the wall. The miss smite from Closer is too early. And here comes Malphite. Hits one. Just the Kennen, though. And he's got backup. No kills so far. Blaber safe. Tanky enough. 300 health. And it's Closer dropping. Without flash available. It's Baron and a 1 for nothing.
Berserker.
And Cloud9 are not done. They're hungry. Berserker once more. And he serves up 2 for Jensen. Gets a 3rd for himself. And that's the Bud Light Ace. That could be game 1.
Cloud9 are going down mid, and they are going for the win.
Only 27 minutes into game number 1 of the LCS Finals here in Chicago, and Cloud9 dominate.
Cloud9 already got what they wanted. They got a pick, they got a Baron, and Berserker said, I want more, and he'll take everything. 100 Thieves defeated in game 1. Cloud9 2 away from a championship.
What an incredible game 1 performance from Cloud9. The only doubters were asking questions, how is Cloud9 going to come out the gates? They didn't get to play in front of this crowd here yesterday. Would they be able to adjust to the stage right off the bat? Would they have a slow start? Emphatically, no. They are ready to go. They start up the Baron, they find the turret, they crush the team fight, they close the game.
And all playoffs long, Cloud9 have been rewarded for a lot of these extra picks that they bring to the table. First it was the Ashe support from Zven with the extra vision control. Then it was the Kennen from Fudge, and layering it with these Nocturne ultimates. The paranoia was used so effectively both times. The dragon fight and baiting at the Baron. Because as soon as Blaber turns off the lights and the paranoia, Closer thinks, okay, they're burning the Baron while there's no vision, so he flashes in. The Baron is still such high health that he can't combo it, he can't burn it down, and they stop DPS on it.
Absolutely, I mean, it's a really difficult situation. We can see everything, he can't see anything at all. And I've got to say, the Malphite really didn't feel like it ever really accomplished much, right? I think it was like fine in the lane, but it was losing. Then he actually gets dove, he's way down. They never even forced flash off Berserker that entire game until he used it offensively to end the game, right? Yeah. They were never really able to access that Zeri, so I think it's back to the drawing board on the top lane pick, because if you're playing against Zeri, you need hard engage, but the Malphite just wasn't it.
Is it back to banning the Kennen? They had to ban the Kennen in 3 of the games following their defeat in the first matchup that they had.
Yeah, I mean, if you come in saying, okay, we have the prep, we think it's Malphite, and it's not it, okay, well, sorry, you did your homework, but turns out you copied the wrong answers on the notes. Something, I don't know what it was, but it didn't work out. Do you want to point one thing, though, speaking of the Kennen? Fudge's 100th LCS victory was game 1 of this final, so Fudge missed 100, going for 102 on the weekend.
Yep, yeah, gonna be looking for it for sure. I feel like you just can't give Berserker Zeri. This guy is too good on the champion. His mechanics are too insane in the team fights, and it gives him so much agency. Like, the control is always in the Zeri's hands, and unless Berserker messes up, you're not gonna be able to do anything about it, and that's not something you want to bet on.
No, you don't. Well, we got more to play, though. We have never had a 3-0 in this playoff run.